everyone, Kimberly Berg, clinical exercise physiologist in the Rebel Fit Club, the training center for people with Parkinson's. Today I'm going to be talking to you about your seated posture. Did you know that your seated posture directly correlates to your standing posture? And we think about standing up straight, but we don't think about sitting up straight. So I'm going to teach you today how to be an active sitter. Now, if you are an active sitter, it's going to help your swallowing, your breathing, your voice, your digestion, your low back pain, upper back pain, how you're walking, your gait, and also your bowels. So why wouldn't you want to sit up nice and straight? So if you like these videos, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and share these videos with your friends so everybody can get the help they need. So with active sitting, it's really important what chair you're in first, because we spend hours in a chair. Now, if you are in a big cushy couch, and I know several of you have said, it's really hard now for me to get out of my couch. Well, that means you shouldn't be sitting in that couch. Anytime a chair is starting to swallow you up and you can't get out of it, it means you're in the wrong position to be able to get up. So what happens is when we sit in those big cushy couches or overstuffed chairs, they swallow us up, they throw us into this C position. Now, if I stood up in this same position, you spend hours like this, right? Sitting, watching TV. If I stood up, I would be in this same position. No wonder you can't get out of this chair. I recommend a straight back chair always. I'm just going to give you a little quick anatomy lesson. So it's going to help you understand what I'm talking about. So these bones back here, this is the back of the pelvis, this is the sacrum and your tailbone. These bones right here are your sit bones. We are supposed to sit on those bones. It's where your hamstrings connect. They're connected to the sacrum. Now, if you are sitting behind them, then your pelvis is rocked in a posterior position, which means if you stood up, you would have to bend your knees to be able to walk and counterbalance. That is that tucky butt that I'm talking about. We want you in this position where you're sitting on your sit bones, and then you have a third point, which would be your pubic bone in front. So it would form kind of a triangle. I want you to reach back and just feel your sit bones. They're back there, and you should be on them. Now, if I'm in front of my sit bones, I'm in this position. So my tailbone is out. But we don't want to spend too much time in that position because that's too far forward. But if we're behind our sit bones, that puts us in this C position that we don't want to be in because it's crowding everything, our breath and our digestion, our guts. So it's going to affect how you move about in the world. It will definitely affect your balance, but it also can create brain fog because you're not getting good blood flow. Okay, so we're going to talk about the chair first. The chair should be at a position where you're not having to put your feet up like this. You should be able to put your feet flat on the ground with a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. So this is a pretty good chair for me. Now, if I'm going to get out of the chair, I always want to slide to the end before I get up. But we're going to talk about how we sit in a chair. So I'm going to slide back just a little bit. Now, this chair is not a straight back chair, but it still works even though it's a folding chair. I'm going to take this ball. It's about the size of a child's ball. It's underinflated. And I'm going to take this ball and put up a little higher on my back, on my ribs, so that I can feel what being supported and having nice posture. So I'm sitting on my sit bones and I can feel my pubic bone in front, and I want my ear over my shoulder over my hip. So this is pretty good right here. Now remember, if you are working on a computer or something, the further your head is. So if your head is 1 inch over plumb, it's going to be 10 pounds more weight on your neck and spine. If you're 2 inches forward, it's 20 pounds. So you want to keep your ears over your shoulders, just like this. Okay, and then if you have a workstation, you want to have it appropriate so you're working right here. That would be good ergonomics. But we're just talking about sitting and looking at the TV. So if this is uncomfortable for you, it's probably because your posture is already compromised. So just do it in small doses until you get this to be comfortable sitting and watching TV. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move it down to our lumbar spine. Now, one of the reasons it's important to be on your sit bone is it allows your curves in your back to be maintained. Because when you're behind those sit bones, you've actually taken all the curve out of the lumbar spine and you're tucking your sacrum under. It doesn't like that, so no wonder your back hurts. So we're gonna put this in our lumbar spine and we're gonna do some exercises here to work on our core. You don't have to get out of a chair to be able to work your core. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna go behind those sit bones a little bit, and then we're gonna go in front. And you're just gonna feel that into the ball and out of the ball. So if I take the ball away, because I want to give you a clear picture of what's going on with my back. So this would be back behind my sit bones. Now notice I'm still here. I'm not here. I'm up here. All I'm moving is from my waist down. I'm scooping. I'm using my abs. So that would be what cat back, right? And then we're gonna go into cow back. I'm gonna exhale, use my abdominals. This is a good way to work your core, and it's safe. You don't have to get on the ground or anything like that. So anybody at any stage of Parkinson's can work their abdominals and work their core, because the core is not this big strappy muscle here, it's what's inside. So we want to be able to lube up our low back. This is also if you have a painful back or stiff back, this is a great way to get it moving. So just back and forth, use your breath, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Good. Okay, so you can do that with support and get feedback from the ball. The next thing the ball is good for is if this back went all the way down, I could put it down a little lower or maybe just under my rump here, or you can put it against. So I'm supporting my sacrum so I can actually sit without the back of a chair and still be supported by wedging part of that ball under my tail. And so then I'm free to move around. My sacrum is supported, my hips are supported, but I could move around in space and know that my posture is pretty good. And it doesn't really allow me to get into that slumped position. So those are just a few ideas for you. It does matter how you sit in your chair and stay out of those overstuffed chairs that are putting you in that bad posture. It's just gonna make everything worse. So if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button, give me a like and subscribe. We also have a posture school. It is a 5-week series. It comes to you. You subscribe to it. You can do it at your leisure in your own home. We also have in-gym posture school. So check that out. Now, we also have our signature boxing boot camps. We have yoga, tai chi, stretching, dance. Go to my website, rebelfitclub.com, where you can check out all those classes, but also these complimentary videos. There's a search bar. You can look up posture or balance, anything that you need. You can also contact me directly, Kimberly at rebelfitclub.com. I'm happy to get back to you and tell you how our great programming can help you with your specific needs. So don't ever lose hope. And as always, go forth and conquer.